Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at a couple brand new miniatures. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we got a couple of brand new miniatures coming out for a couple of the game systems for Games Workshop, but I can't help but think that lately Games Workshop has been struggling to give the people what they want. We've gotten a bunch of brand new additions, some arguably that we didn't really need. Games Workshop has brought back the old world. We've got the Epic with Legions Imperialis. We got a new launch box for Necromunda. The new edition of Warhammer 40k, the new edition of Age of Sigmar, the new edition of Warhammer Underworlds, new edition of Kill Team. And it's definitely starting to feel like Games Workshop is just pumping out product, but they're not actually giving the people what they want. Now there's a ton of excitement coming up for the new Christmas boxes. Those are always something that people love to get their hands on. They're typically a really good value, a good jumping off point for a new army or way to expand an existing army for Warhammer 40,000 and then also Age of Sigmar as well. But I can't help but think there's a lot of stuff that people actually want and would be excited for and buy. But it seems like instead of Games Workshop giving us those things to make the hobby and gaming experience more fun, they just sort of pump out like random characters here and there and new additions that we don't need. So let me know down in the comments what you wish Games Workshop would actually put out, and then a couple things that have come out recently that you're just not interested in. So let's take a look at the new characters coming out for Necromunda and then also for Warhammer the Old World. And then let me know if you kind of understand what I'm talking about. No secrets are safe from the Silberant Servos, the greatest whisper merchant of all. The agents of House Delac would have you believe that they are Necromunda's premier information brokers, but nothing could be further from the truth. In the bowel of the great hives, freelance whisper merchants ply their trade in secrets and rumors, and none command as much fear and respect as the one known simply as Infotech, a former House Vansar ganger named Silberant Servos. While his ruined body is confined to a suspensor chair, Servos' mind is as deadly as a weapon carried by the gangs of the Underhive. In his former life, he sought to merge his own mind and the sacred STC at the heart of Vansar, crafting an advanced synaptic link designed to unshackle his consciousness and leave the mortal world behind. Alright, so pretty cool new model right here. Definitely coming from Forge World as it is a individual character. You can tell by the overall look and feel of this model too that it will be in Forge World resin. But definitely something new and interesting coming for Necromunda. His attempts ended in failure when the STC itself rejected his communion, shattering his body and mind in a massive synaptic backlash that left Servos critically injured and bereft of his senses. His former comrades unceremoniously dumped his body in an Underhive refuse pit for daring to break their sacred 3 laws. But while he lay there dying, Servos realized that his experiment hadn't totally failed. He could see and feel the electronic soul of his hive around him, and even manipulated a clad of nearby maintenance servitors. Over time, he took control of more systems and servitors around him, using plundered tech to build a suspensor chair and establish a safe haven deep within the Underhive. He soon realized that he could also dive into the electronic highways that carry information around the hive and rip secrets from within the data stream, beginning a fruitful career as a whisper merchant that brought him fame and fortune. His mastery of information gathering even extends to gang skirmishes, granting his benefactors the ability to reveal their opponent's gang tactics and simple roll on his excellent intelligence characteristic. Silberant Servos isn't a natural fighter, however, and will need to be protected from harm while he digs through the enemy's secrets. Such services are uniquely valuable, and he's well worth the credits. Credits that find the ultimate goal of returning triumphant to House Vansar stronghold and resuming his attempts to merge with the sacred STC. So pretty cool new model right here. Honestly though, not sure what he's going to bring to the actual game, if this is the type of thing where people are really going to appreciate what this model brings to the table or the abilities in the actual game itself. But I can't help but feel like single characters like this, the Games Workshop just pops out here and there. While the actual model itself are cool and it's something unique, and I always appreciate a cool new model, really just not bringing that much to the Necromunda Underhives. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. So let's jump over here next to Warhammer the Old World and check out the new dwarf models coming out. Help your dwarven army shoot straight and true with the ingenious Burlork Damnenson. Dwarf engineers are the greatest inventors in the old world, though they are usually held back by constant appeals to tradition enforced by the Engineering Guild. Occasionally, though, a prodigy manages to prove that fresh new ideas are worth a few singed beards, and few have pushed the form as far as young Burlork Damnenson. Overeager and enthusiastic young apprentices often end up on the receiving end of embarrassing rituals designed to discourage them from the more outlandish experiments, and are forcefully nudged towards those tried and trusted methods that have produced results for generations. Alright, so again we got a new character right here coming for the dwarves. Pretty cool new triple barrel pistol. He's got like a little bit of tech on his back and then a big hammer to go along with it. So again, cool new model, but what is this guy actually bringing to the game? Burlork was protected from these lessons by his father, a well-respected engineer in his own right, but no amount of stern lecturing could dissuade Burlork from pursuing his love and innovation in secret. Alongside other legendary inventors, Burlork designed some of the greatest devices ever seen in the workshops of Zufbar, prompting grudging respect and simmering anger from the guildmasters in equal measure. The only real way to test the efficiency of his many inventions and keep them from exploding is to accompany his creations as they're deployed on the battlefield. Burlork is no stranger to the dangers of war, and he's quite happy smashing skulls with his furnace hammer or lacing enemies with the searing salvos from his rivet gun, while defending his devastating war machines. His curious collection of esoteric glass lenses is little more than junk in the hands of an inexperienced dwarf, but these range-finding optics help dwarven range units and war machines find their mark with unerring accuracy. This is not the first time in Warhammer history that we've seen Burlork, who is a much older and more senior engineer in the era of Karl Franz, albeit missing an arm. Something to do with his misfiguring rivet gun? Perhaps. His first miniature was released all the way back in 1993 during the 4th edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. So again, while this is a cool new model and it's cool to see them like bringing back a new iteration of an old legend, I'm just not sure that this is the best way for Games Workshop to be spending its time and effort. There's a ton of stuff in all the various different game systems that the people would love to have to complete their collections, to make the game more functional, to have like plastic new kits, or to be able to put their army on the battlefield. But it definitely feels like Games Workshop has limited amount of like asset allocations, in this case as far as like the design studio, and I can't help but think that they're misallocating some of these assets, designing individual characters like this that are probably just going to sell a handful of models. And while I do think it's cool when a new character comes out, and I do appreciate an old model getting a refurbish, I think there's a lot of people out there that would much rather see them being able to actually field their army on the table, having more like concise and clear rules for games like Necromunda, or consolidating some of the books into like single publications to make the game like more approachable or more functional. And while I do understand Games Workshop is a miniature company and that's what they're primarily focused on, at the heart of all the miniatures, all the collectors, is the games. So I don't know, let me know if this is a bad take or a hot take. And while we can see a stark contrast between the old model and the new one coming out, and again, this is definitely an awesome new model, a very cool new sculpt, how much is this actually adding to the game? And if Games Workshop focused in their efforts and actually gave the community what they wanted, would their limited resources be better spent? Would slowing down like their new release schedule of brand new miniatures, models, and kits benefit the community overall if they spent a little bit more time focusing on keeping their stuff in stock or producing the box sets that people want? I definitely think so. So let me know what you think about this video, about these new models, and what you think Games Workshop could be doing a better job of. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products. And make sure to tell them that Warhammer Man sent you. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man. And these are definitely some cool new models, but I think Games Workshop needs to focus in a little bit more on giving people what they want, and a little bit less on just pumping out new stuff that we really don't want or need. And I'm out of here.